Welcome to our series of Pirkei Avot with the Rambam's commentary, among others. And we're on the first Perek, Mishna 5. And we dedicate this episode in memory of Levy ben Moshe ve'Esther and Elisheva Yael bat Leah Levy, and also Shlomo ben Moshe ve'Esther. Okay, Michael, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Mashiach. So in this Mishnah, we talk about opening your house, and let's go through the Mishnah first, and then we'll discuss it. So it starts with Yossi ben Yochanan Ishu Shalayim Omer. Yossi, the son of Yochanan, a man of Jerusalem, used to say, Yihi veitcha patuach lovacha. Let your house be wide open. Vayihiyu anayim b'nei beitcha. And let the poor be members of your household. So I'll give you Rambam's commentary on the concept of your house being wide open. Rambam says that you should have a gate open to the path of wayfarers, such that every wayfarer that needs something or is hungry or thirsty will enter the house immediately. And the Mishnah continues, Va'al tarbe sicha ima isha. Do not engage too much conversation with women. Be'ishto omru, and this refers to in regards to one's own wife. Kal v'chomer be'eshes chavero, even more so with the somebody else's wife. Yes. Mikan amru chachamim. From here, the chachamim say, Kol zaman she'odam mar b'sicha im ha'isha gorem ra'a le'atzmo. As long as man engages in too much conversation with women, he causes evil to himself. Or votel midivrei Torah, and he wastes time when he could be studying Torah. V'sofo yoresh gehinom, and in the end he will inherit Gehinom. So let's go back and give further commentary from Rambam. So also he comments on let the poor be members of your households. So Rambam says, he is saying that it is necessary that the servants be the poor and the indigent. And this is more fit than purchasing slaves. And so would the sages condemn the purchase of slaves and praise one whose servants and members of his household were the poor. So what Rambam is saying, he's saying rather than buy slaves in the market to be your servants, employ poor people or unfortunate members of the community, because give them dignity. We talk about you can give tzedakah, but the highest form of tzedakah is helping a man to help himself, give him his dignity, and to employ people, make them feel like they're part of something big in your household. Also, they said Rambam mentions in the when we talk about how we should not talk too much about trivial thing with one's wife, he comments, they so stated with his wife. It is known that the majority of talk with women is about matters of sex. Because of this, he said that increasing conversation with them is forbidden, since he causes evil to himself. He means to say that he acquires lowly traits for his soul, and that is the abundance of desire. And in regard to the words in the Mishnah that say, and he neglects the words of the Torah, Rambam says it is understood that he wastes time with other occupations. And the very last words of the Mishnah, when it says, in the end he will inherit Gehinom, if he talks too much to his wife, and not only his wife, if other women as well, he says, because of this conversation of rebellion, and he obligates himself to deserve punishments. So, Rambam talks about keeping your house wide open. This is a very, very important concept. This is the Bartonura, who we've talked about, the Italian scholar, comments on this statement saying, like the home of Avraham, our father, Oliver Shalom, which was open to the world's 4 directions, so that guests would not need to go around to find the entrance. And he also comments on, may the poor be the members of your household, and he should not acquire slaves to serve him. It is better that the Jew should benefit from his assets and not the seed of the accursed Canaan, talking about saying, employ people who are familiar to you and are in your community rather than people who are complete foreigners. And this was very important. My father, Oliver Shalom, he used to have an open house in the evening when he came home from work. He worked long hours, but when he got home, my mother prepared him a meal to eat. I remember as a child, I used to sit there and the doorbell used to ring constantly with people coming collecting tzedakah for yeshivas and for organizations. And my father never, ever let them wait. He would tell me, we'd already eaten. We'd come home so late sometimes that my mother prepared him some food. He would take the first spoon or fork of food. The bell would ring. He said, Michael, answer the door, take them into the lounge, whoever it is. And I used to go answer the door, and there would invariably be a few rabbis collecting. I would take them into the lounge, and my father would immediately get up, come and say hello, sit down, and deal with them and give them a donation and talk to them about their organization. And I remember there were times when my mother would say, Levy, sit, eat your food, they'll wait for you, eat your food. But no, he would invariably leave a dish of hot food, would turn cold while he was sitting and talking with them. And sometimes I used to watch it, and I used to learn from him, because there were some times when it wasn't just Rabbonim, they were just like, I feel bad saying it, but they were like Nebuch members of the community who would just wanted a handout, just wanted some cash, some money, and they would come around, and I'm thinking to myself, I open the door and I see this guy standing there. I think my dad's going to get upset that this guy, and I'm wondering, what should I do? And I said to my father, look, there's a man here, and whoever the person, whatever their situation, whatever they were asking, my father would deal with them almost like it was an angel sent from God.
With great patience. And
great patience. And I was sometimes thinking, it was kind of anyway. It was an amazing thing to see, and a real education for me in how to keep your house open. It was open and he used to receive visitors till 10:30, 11 at night.
Wow.
So a constant stream of people, and he dealt with them each like it was an important guest, almost like an angel sent from Hashem.
Yeah.
And I learned from that. I saw it, and I could still picture those meetings in my mind's eye 40 years ago, and it was a great example. So that's, and also it makes a lot of sense when the Mishna says that you should employ people that rather than foreigners to work with you. Again, this is about dignity, giving people their dignity, and talking about not engaging in too much talk with your wife. Obviously, this is, the concept of don't talk to women generally, because we're all human. We weren't born as angels. We have human, kind of desires and things like that, and these will lead perhaps you to a situation that perhaps you should never ever come close to. So he says, limit that idea, because don't talk too much to women. It's, obviously your wife, but kavachoma, someone else's wife or another woman, and
or even a strange woman who's not for sure that's important. And the Chachamim found it important enough to mention, even though it should really be obvious. But then there's all types of excuses. This is for work, or this is for a mitzvah, etc. And then the conversation can get carried away. So, it says in the Gemara, "Ein apotropos la'arayos." There is no 100% safeguard against immorality. You can't say, "Well, I'm immune to that." I don't do that. Like there was a story of, I can't remember who it was, who the rabbi was. I suspect it was Rav Hyman. I think it was Rav Mordechai Hyman, maybe one of the Rosh Yeshivas, the great Rosh Yeshivas, who was at an advanced age at when this story took place. A young man of about 17 years old came to the rabbi, and during the course of the conversation, it turned out that this 17-year-old boy used to come to the yeshiva through along a main road where the women there were not dressed like the Rebbitzins of the generation, put it that way. And he would just walk through, and the rabbi said to him, "Aren't you worried about Shmirat Einayim?" He says, "No, Rabbi, I'm okay. I don't look. I'm fine." So the rabbi said to him, "I'm in my 80s. I'm practically blind. He goes, and I will be scared walking through a street like that. And you as a young man." So we have to be aware of our own fallibilities, and that the Yetzer Hara doesn't give up. So we don't want to give him any petach. We don't want to give him any opening for us to God forbid, get into such a situation. Okay? All right. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So, and also thank you for those insights about your father. It's so wonderful to hear about him. Even so many years after his passing, we still remember him fondly. Although, unfortunately, for the both of us, we spent precious few years with him, but we learned so much. And next time, Bezrat Hashem, we'll go on to the 6th Mishnah, where we will be discussing Yoshua ben Parachia and Nittai of Arbel. And until then, we wish you a wonderful and blessed week.